Hey everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your energy shift expert and Akashic Records advisor. How's everybody doing tonight? It is January 11th, 2021. Welcome aboard. I'm so glad to see you all tonight. And I'd like to start off by affirming our new year, because as a highly sensitive person, an empath or a star seed, this year is going to be about change. It's going to be about transformation, and it's going to be about claiming your divine birthright. So let's get a few more people on board here, and let's get started, because there's some amazing things happening for you. And this is the time to jump in and to claim your joy, to claim your divine right, and to claim your happiness. So let's get started. And what I'd like to do is get started and ask everybody to join me by asking for Archangel Michael to come in and surround you with his beautiful divine wings and clear your energy and your vibration completely, and release all negative, limiting beliefs, fears, illusions, negative imprints present in your energy body or your physical being. And we're going to ask Archangel Michael to release anything that's blocking you from fully and completely experiencing the present and any of the beautiful energies in this moment. All right. And so if you're watching with me now or on the recording, I'd like for you to repeat after me. I am a sensitive. I didn't hear you. I am a sensitive. I am worth celebrating. I am worth everything. I am unique, and in this whole world, there's only one me. There's only one person with my talents, experiences, and gifts. No one can take my place. So can I get an amen? I know that was a lot. We'll try to start next time with a little bit slower so you can repeat after me and claim your beautiful divine right as a highly sensitive person, and step up and step out, because this world needs a lot of lights right now, a lot of beautiful souls. And that's pretty much what we're going to talk about tonight. So if you missed that, you want to replay it on the replay, you can. Maybe write that down and have a positive affirmation each and every day, because that's how we're going to change our speech. So I'd like to tell you a little story about last week. I was talking to a woman who is very beautiful in my life, and who is also a fellow sensitive, and gave me sanctuary when I needed it. And I was telling her about my story, about my past, recovering from narcissism and working through that, and how in the present I was still releasing energies because it was blocking me from doing my divine gifts, my divine right, more quickly and easily and effortlessly. And she said, stop right there. And I said, what do you mean? And she's like, you've got to stop talking about the past and start talking about the future. What I'm hearing you say is, the reason I can't do blah, blah, blah is because of this in the past, blah, 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 and I'm still working through it, which means you're still dragging it around. And I had to think for a minute. Blink, 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 blink. She was right. And so that's the reason that tonight, the message that I've got here to share with you all is, having a more positive look and speaking things into your life. Because a lot of us don't think positively every day because of the negative crap that's been in our past. How many of you out there have had relationships where you were told that you were too fat, too thin, not smart enough, can't do things fast enough? I mean, there's a lot of that going on out there. And of course, that makes your self-esteem fill in the toilet, because if you hear it often enough, you begin to believe it. And when you believe it, your heart will speak it. Think about that. What you believe, your heart will speak. The Bible says, out of the mouth, the abundance of the heart speaks. Even if you're not a Bible person, I would like for you to put a little imaginary owl on your shoulder, or bird, whatever bird you like, for the next 24 hours and really pay attention to what you're saying in a given day. How do you talk about yourself? How do you talk about your story? Because all of us have one. It's fascinating. All humans have stories. Stories in the past, stories they're creating now, stories they hope to live in the future. So my question tonight is, what do you think about most of the day? You know, if you want to put it down here in the comments, you know, what do you spend most of your day thinking about? Do you think about how joyful the next moment of your life is going to be? Do you think, I wonder how God, Spirit, or Source will bless me today? I wonder how I'm going to meet that deadline. I have no idea how I'm going to meet that deadline, but I know I'll meet it. How do you talk? Or are you the one in the corner going, well, you know, it's really stressful because of blah, blah, blah. And it just seems like I can't catch a break and blah, 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 right? How do you speak about it? And then do you ever say to yourself, even if it's way deep down inside in your heart, am I worthy? Am I worthy? Do you ever think about that? Do you ever say that? Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever interview for a job or put yourself out on a dating website or, you know, have some health issues and say, hey, I wonder, am I worthy of a better job? Am I worthy of making more money than I already do? Am I worthy of a relationship where somebody invests time in me as much as I invest time in them? Am I worthy to have good health? And you really think about that. That's not what we go around saying to ourselves all day, but perhaps there's something that you say to yourself that you'd like to share with us, and let me know what it is that you share in your head or out loud. You can always private message me if you're having a challenge with the same thing going on over and over, because a lot of us have an endless loop that goes on in our heads, whether we're aware of it consciously or not, and whether we say it. How many of you out there believe you're unique? How many? What? You don't think you're unique? Okay, think about this for a minute. How many people in this planet of billions is just like you? How many are just like you? Have the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same emotions, the same talents, the same gifts? How many? One. Just you. There's only one you. You are the beautiful creation that God's Spirit or Source put on this planet. And there's a reason for you being here. And though it might seem dark and gloomy, and maybe people are telling you bad things about yourself, maybe you're being cyber bullied, or maybe you feel like nobody cares about you and you're all by yourself and you're on social media just trying to feel better. I'd like for you to know right now, today, that God's Spirit or Source loves you unconditionally, just like you love every part of your body. So, if you have a big toe and the big toe is hurting, you'd certainly want to do something about it. You wouldn't ignore it and say, oh, big toe, go away, because it's a part of you. It's a living, breathing part of you. And we're all a part of the living, breathing creator source of all. And that in itself is a great and wonderful thing. And that's something to rejoice in. That's something to say, claim your divine right. I am a spirit being in a physical body, having an experience. I am loved. I am worthy. I am unique. And anybody out there that tells you any different, that's about them. That's about them. And those people, those negative people, I know from my own personal experience, taught me to question myself. Because apparently I wasn't worthy of getting a raise at my last linear job. I wasn't worthy of good benefits. I wasn't worthy of having good health insurance. And I didn't get paid enough, so obviously I wasn't worthy of driving a nice car, so I didn't break down by the side of the road all the time. But those things simply aren't true. But let me tell you, when you start down that road of thinking that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, somehow you're not enough, then that's exactly where you're going to go, because your mind is leading you there just by having those thoughts. So I'm going to challenge you today to ask different thoughts about you. I'm going to challenge you to do that today because you can shift your reality now. If you don't believe me and you're like, Deanna, you're full of it. A few words can't change my life, sticks and stones, then what I'd like for you to do is get a journal. And if you don't want to journal it, email it to yourself and say, this is how I'm feeling today. And this is what the loop of the thought was in my head. Really pay attention to it. It could even be a negative loop thought about others. Oh, that person is, trying to get back at me. Why would they want me to do this? What's behind that, right? Those are also negative thoughts, very depressive, by the way. So keep a journal, simple journal of what 2 or 3 of your thoughts are every morning. What's in your head? Unlock the door and take a look. What's in Pandora's box? And keep that list for 21 days in your journal. Every day for 21 days, get up and write, what are 2 things pervasive in my head? Or do it at the end of your day. What have I been thinking about all day? Just short little bullet statements. And then after 21 days, go back and evaluate it. If 90% of what you wrote isn't positive, this is the time to change those thoughts and shift your reality. I guarantee you, if you start thinking more positive thoughts more often than the negative thoughts, that's the key, good things will come to you. Good, lucky things will come to you. Things will just come out of nowhere seemingly and help to support you in whatever it is that you're seeking or doing or wanting to be. All right, if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them down here in the feed. I'll take a look at those before I go on. Or if you have any questions, any doubts or any fears, that's what kills everything in this world is doubts or fears. So please let me know how that's looking for you. And then I'm going to answer a couple of other questions that I got today earlier from some of the people. And it looks like we have Carol watching and Robin joining us and Craig joining us. It's good to see all of you. Appreciate having you aboard. But I don't see any questions, so let's move on. So in this moving forward, in the more positive thinking, what I'd like for you to know is when you are more positively charged, that means your mental thinking is more positive than negative after you've done that 21-day test, you're going to notice things change in your world. Like I said, lucky things, happy things just happening out of nowhere. And it is amazing, an amazing experience. And when it happens to you, you'll be like, oh, that's what Deanna was talking about. Okay, let's get on and look at a couple of other things tonight. So I'm going to do a very quick screen share here. And I wanted to show you a couple things. I did have some questions from our viewers that don't come on live always because they've got, other family things going on. And let's see here, I've got to pull that up. Just a moment. Okay, get back over here. All right, so I'm going to go to share screen and answer one of the questions. If you have any questions about being highly sensitive, empath, or star seeds, go ahead and put them in the feed down below. If you're not on the live tonight, you can go ahead and add them and I will answer them as quickly as possible, or you can put them on my YouTube channel or go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on about and you'll find a way to email me or another social media to leave me a message. All right. So what I'm showing now is the Schumann's frequency, which we've talked about. This is the heartbeat of the Earth, and this shows the electromagnetic field of our planet at any one given time with what is going on. So what you're going to notice here on the left-hand side of the screen, it says 01/10/2022. And I had quite a few people texting me, quite a few people on social media privately messaging me, asking me if the world was coming to an end or what happened. Because if you notice, right in here is a big black spot where there is no Schumann's whatsoever being recorded. You have a lot of scrubbies over here on the left-hand side. Okay, that was on the 10th, which was yesterday. So if you noticed you weren't able to sleep well, or you had a lot of really bizarre dreams, or if you're getting that high-pitched frequency a lot in your mind, a lot of people get that really high pitched whine and it's annoying and it's louder than other times and you just wish it would go away. That frequency is what's showing up on Schumann's between the 0 and the 5 over here on the left-hand side. That's what's showing up. That's about 5 hertz. And that, my dears, is information that is being given to us by the universe. So that is the manna, if you will, from heaven, the bread from heaven. That is the communication to help starseeds, empaths, and highly sensitive people to get through these times we're living in. Because if you think about it, these times literally can be exhausting, very anxious ridden. And as a starseed, a highly sensitive person or an empath, basically called sensitives, then you, my lovelies, are being called to a greater task than that 9-to-5 gig or just barely getting by or however it's working for you. So if you're hearing me, I'm going to invite you to my class, which is going to be on January 29th. Actually, it's several days. It starts on a Saturday. And you can go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on Spiritual Awakening Academy mini course. If you haven't done so already, several people have already jumped on board. And we're going to spend 4 days talking about this adventure that you're being offered. This is an adventure. This is what you were born to do. And that's why some of you feel really restless, inside. You're like, I know there's a mission. I know there's supposed to be something to do. And you're looking on the world scene, trying to figure out what it is, and none of it feels right. That's because you were born to be in this divine space and time to help to hold the light into this planet. So if you don't know, if you're an empath, a highly sensitive person, a starseed, what does that mean? Then go register for that Spiritual Awakening Academy mini course. It's 4 days. It's very well priced. And it's an investment of a lifetime, because what's going to happen is we're going to talk about each one of those things, very little bits of it at a time, so that you can get your head wrapped around it. And you could go, oh yeah, that is so who I am. And I'm ready to learn more. That's what that class is for, because sometimes people are a little bit in and a little bit out, and a little bit in and a little bit out, and they don't know what to do. They're confused. Then you've got this mass consciousness that's also equally confusing that's going on. First we're up and then we're down, and this mask worked, now it doesn't work. This mask now works. This one's better. Get this shot. Get this upgrade. I mean, there's so much schmegging stuff going on, not to mention the stock market, not to mention the world scene, not to mention politics. There's a lot going on, and highly sensitive people, empaths and starseeds, are going just, I don't even know what word it is, but I see them going like this, the tuck and duck. No, you beautiful lovelies, this is your time. You were made for this. I am calling you out. God, Spirit, or Source put me on this planet, this schmegging planet, to be this age at this time, so that I could instruct all of you beautifuls how it is to spread the light. Because I want you to think about the billions of people on this planet, billions, and they're seeing all this stuff going on around the world, and they're scared, and they're anxious, and they're fearful, and they're doubtful. And you, if you are hearing me, this is the divine message for you. Okay? This is it. This is for you. I am here to be the way shower. I'm here to say, this is the way. And if it resonates with you down in your soul and you're like, oh, I'm so excited, I can't wait, Deanna, wait, me, please me, then you're my tribe. I am talking to you. I am telling you, I spent 13 years in this business, learning little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit, by trial and error, and some by masters that were teaching me. Do I know it all? No, certainly not. Is there more I want to learn? Oh yeah, there's totally more I want to learn. But right now, where I'm at, God, Spirit, or Source, AKA the boss, told me that it is time for me to call all of you from the rooftops. I just really can't see myself crawling up on top of the roof of my office and yelling out with a megaphone. So we're doing it here. But I'm serious about this. So anyway, let's get back to Schumann's real quick. So if yesterday you felt really agitated, like you knew there was a mission, you weren't sure what, if you have depression or anxiety and it's seemingly worse yesterday, if you have ADD or ADHD and you felt like you were all over the place and couldn't get control of the shiny object syndrome, that's why, because it's in this beautiful divine energy is in here available to all of us, whether you're awake and aware or not. Every man, woman, and child drawing a breath on this planet felt it yesterday. Maybe they just weren't aware. And let's be, real about it. If they're not tuned in, if they don't have spidey senses, it's just another day in paradise for them. All right. So again, the question that I got that people were reaching out to me, and I thought, well, gosh, if this is happening for one or two, it's happening for many. But you see the big black spots here, and then it registers again, and then you see the big black spot now. Please don't think the world's blown up. Okay, and I'm going to stop the share here a minute. Please don't think the world's blown up. It's not. This equipment is stationed in Russia. It is a small college that has some big funding, and they measure the heartbeat of the earth. They measure Schumann's resonance, and then they, have a computer. I don't know if it's a supercomputer or not, but they have places all over the globe that's measuring this, and then probably use satellite to send that information back down to the college, and then the computer assimilates it, makes it workable and sends it out. And what happens if the machine goes down, malfunctions? What happens if the computer system doesn't work? What happens if the satellites don't work? Lots of that stuff. But it is not showing us the end of the world, my lovelies. So please do not freak out about that. All right, so I'm going to go back to the questions, and I'm going to, if you have any questions about anything about being a sensitive, an empath, highly sensitive person, why do I feel great? Why do I feel not so great? Then let me know, okay? So let's talk about that. All right, so again, people, hello to Carol, it's so good to see you. Robin, we got to talk, girl. Hi, Craig. Oh, Craig, I'm so glad you could join us tonight. Hi, Angie. Welcome. Nice to have you aboard. And Angie says, gratitude puts you in an amazing mindset. Drink that in. Gratitude puts you in an amazing mindset. Thank you, Angie, for adding that, because it is so true. And I will talk about next week more reasons about why it's true and how it works. All right. Hello, Paul. Oh, good to see you. I'm glad to have you aboard. Hey, Chrissy, what's happening? Haven't heard from you in a while. Hope things are doing good. And Heidi says, all day today, I've been feeling very sore, like I was in a car crash and can barely move. Heidi, I am very sorry to hear that, because, nobody doesn't like feeling well. And I thank you so much for adding your comment, because I'd like to speak to that. And I'm watching my monitor. So as I speak to that, Heidi, if this does mean something to you, what I'm saying, please give me a thumbs up or a smiley face or a heart or something and let me know. But what I'm finding, Heidi, is people that are sensitive, they have their spidey senses, they see, feel, sense, or know things that other people don't. What happens is, when you have this Schumann's, which is the heartbeat of the earth, which is the electromagnetic field, at a lower hertz, so it's a very low, it's like the difference between being really high and really low. And when it's really low, what happens is that us highly sensitive people pick that up. And so it is possible that what happened to you is that your body was feeling this vibration and it's attempting to match it. It's a positive vibration. It's like the Om, being centered, balanced, meditation, feeling great. And so when your body was attempting to adjust to that, any dis-ease that it had in it, it was attempting to dump it. It was attempting to get rid of it. So Heidi, it's a bit like if you've ever done any detox, if you take a magnesium or some sort of a detox vitamin, then your body will feel sore and achy if you don't drink enough water. So you've got to drink enough water in your system. So my lovely suggestion for you, Heidi, is that you increase the amount of water you're drinking, because your body is definitely trying to dump something, especially if it's achy. And that could be emotional, it could be spiritual, it could be a past life. There's lots of things. So please, Heidi, do that. And let me go to the next question. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Thank you. Chrissy, hey, it says my students are working on choosing their word of the year. I can't commit to a word. I was all over the place. It must have been ADHD and anxiety the last 48 hours. Okay, Chrissy, same thing with you. This, again, the low hertz, the low frequency, if you want to know what that sounds like, you can go to YouTube or just Google it and say, you know, what does 5 hertz sound like? You probably have to put on your earphones because it'll be real low tone. But it is when the monks and the other ancient wisdom folks would use the Om frequency, or Om Mani Padme Hum, to get that frequency as best they could in their mouth, which created the vibration, which was also in their brain, so that their brain would still and they would connect to the divine. So we're getting that freely. We don't even have to work for it. We don't even have to go Om. Okay, it's an amazing time. So Chrissy, what I would suggest for you is that your ADD or ADHD, what I found to be symptomatic in the clients I've worked with and myself, you know, not having a psychology or psychiatry degree, but this is just personal experience and what I've seen with my clients, is that ADD or ADHD is 2 things. One, it's a chemical imbalance in your mind. So the way that your nerves wire and fire needs balancing. And I know there's supplements you can get for that. Keeping your body in pH balance will help with that. Not drinking lots of caffeine will definitely help with that. You wouldn't know anything about that. So that's part of it. And then increasing your water. But what I'm going to suggest to you is that, you know, not being able to come up with the word of the year and having that anxiety for the last 48 hours, what I'm going to suggest to you is that there is a part of you down in here in your heart that is connected to your divine self, that knows that you've got to hurry up and quicken and get attached to God's spirit or source, or connected, sorry, and understand that you are a divine being. You are a highly sensitive person, empath or starseed here. And so all these beautiful energies are coming in and they're trying to pour themselves into your beautiful head, right? Because before you get to your heart, you got to go through the head. And so if there's too much here, then what's the divine, what's the light, what's the love can't come in because there's too much stimulation. You know, think about it. You know, if you've ever, you know, seen somebody who's trying to tickle somebody else and they don't want to be tickled, they're all like, no, 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 no. And the more movement you have, the harder it is to hit the target. Same with your mind, monkey mind, monkey mind, monkey mind. How can anything get in there? So what happens there, Chrissy, I know this is a rather long-winded answer to your question, but it's important. Because if you still your mind, that beautiful divine love is going to come in, all that manna from heaven, all that energy. So there's a part of your consciousness that's like, I can't let that happen because I won't be in control. And it's not just you, Chrissy, I'm talking about, but I'm talking about a lot of folks out there that their mind is so busy and they can't still it or meditate, because if they did, they would not be in control. What happens when you let go? The saying is let go, let God. So what happens when you still your mind? Are some big green meanies going to jump out and go boop and scare you? You know, is the darkness, a demon, going to creep in there and go, hi, Chrissy, how's it going? No. But that's a fear we sometimes have of the unknown, because with the Chi, the Zen, the Holy Spirit, you can't see it. You can't taste it, you can't smell it. Now, I'm not talking about spiritual gifts where people see things other people don't, hear things other people don't. You know, I'm talking about just your 5 ordinary senses. So, my beautiful Chrissy, I'm going to ask you to make a choice, to make a leap of faith. And I'm going to ask you to join me at the end of the month for the Spiritual Awakening Academy mini course. It will give you a point of focus so you can choose to open up or not. Okay. And it will give you a point of reference and a point of view. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Okay, Heidi. Oh, Heidi, you're back again. Hi, Heidi. Anybody else that's joined us, if you have a question about being highly sensitive empath or starseed, or maybe you have a question about the high-pitched whine that you've been hearing, or the anxiety that you've been feeling a lot over the last couple of days, please put it down here. Even if you're on the recording afterwards, go ahead and put it down here. If you're on YouTube, you can put the comments down below. I check those about once a week, or you can pop over to Tools of energyprotection.com, click under About, and you'll find different ways to get a hold of me to send me a message, or you can private message me here on Facebook. All right, so Heidi, she says, I hear it low all the time. My son has a high pitch 2 days ago. Okay, Heidi, so that means you and your son, if you're hearing that high pitched twill for longer periods of time other than just, you know, a couple seconds, that means that you're able to hear the Schumann's frequency. You're able to hear the heartbeat of the earth, and you're able to hear what's happening. I'm going to show it one more time here on the screen. So when you're hearing it, this is what you're hearing. All that static right there is what it looks like. But this is also part of the Schumann's frequency, is also part of the heartbeat of the earth. It is also part of the bioelectromagnetic energy that God, Spirit, or Source is sending for us to learn, to grow. It has things to ascend higher, to open your mind, to give you tools. It's a whole big toolbox of beautiful divine things. It can even help you work through ADD or ADHD. So Heidi, I'm also going to invite you to go over to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on Spiritual Awakening Academy mini course. And in there, I'm going to talk about the high pitch whine, what it means to you. I do have a high pitch whine class coming up. This will be much more expedient, and it'll give you a flavor for other things to know about you and your son. Where do you fit into things? Are you highly sensitive, empath, starseed? Where do you fit in? And what does that mean to you? What will it mean to you for the rest of your life? Can you use this to navigate this crazy world and feel more centered and more balanced and more love and have more joy? Yes. So get on board over there. Thank you, Heidi. Big hugs and kisses and love to your son. I'm going to go ahead and close that question out. All right, Robin, she says, coming across very aggressive people in the last few days and reacting back to let them know it's not okay. Normally, to let them know it's not okay. Don't normally do this. Good for you, Robin. I'm glad you're sticking up for yourself. So it sounds like you're coming across a lot of people that are a little edgy. Well, again, it is January 11th, 2022, and the world scene at large is not steady, plain and simple. People want it to go back to normal. I mean, once COVID hit, we were all kind of holding our breath, hoping it would. And, you know, you see the different rounds of the variants coming. Does this mask work? Does this mask not work? You know, does this shot work? Does the booster work? How does it work? You know, what's going on with these politics? You know, what country's not going to trade with what country? What's the stock market doing? You know, all that stuff. Oh, yes. And my favorite one, there's a shortage now of cars. You can't buy new cars so much anymore, and the prices have gone up. So with all that going on, Robin, there's a lot of anxiety in the world at large, but that doesn't mean you have to participate in it. And it's good for you to have spoken up to these people when they're aggressive, and you said you let them know it's not okay, but you don't normally do this. It's because you're finding your voice within. You're establishing safe boundaries. So we can still be sensitive and have safe boundaries and tell people no and mean it and back it up. So good for you, Robin. All right, let's see if there's anything else that we've got going on here. And it's good to have everybody aboard. I'm glad to see you all. So if you found this video to be of value, if you found it to be uplifting in any way, shape, or form, then I'm going to ask you to share this video with a friend or with another sensitive who may be looking for answers. And if you're on another Facebook page and they're talking about the high pitch whine, twill in the ear frequency, if you want to share it there too, I would really appreciate that. The faster we can get the word out to people to what's going on, the less confusion they will be. They'll anchor in on what's going on, and they'll be able to live a more joyful and happy life. So I also would like to tell you, if you'd like to have a energy clearing session, or if you want me to explain these things more to you, then I'm going to have 2 days down at the Denver, Colorado bookstore called For Heaven's Sakes Books. And I'm going to be there on Thursday. I have about 4 appointments left on Thursday. And then on Friday, I will be there. It is fair day. That means there's discounted rates. So if you're, kind of tight on your budget in January because you spend a lot of money for Christmas, you're still feeling anxious and you need to get that clearing, kind of like a energetic massage, so to speak, then call the store and ask to book on Friday. So I don't have those on my online booking system on my website. So you'll need to call 303-964-9339. That's 303-964-9339. And if you're like, oh, Deanna, I'd really like to get together with you, but I can't quite do a whole hour or half hour at this time, I am doing little 20-minute sessions. They're just kind of like brush up. Imagine that you had dirt all over yourself, and you came and I just brushed it all away. So those 20-minute sessions are $30. It's an extension of the candy cane special from Christmas. I'm only doing them until the 19th. So be sure and call the store and get connected there, because they'll be running those as well. If you have any problems, like I said, just private message me and I'll be more than happy to get you scheduled. So with that, I'd like to end with a little comedy. And the comedy is that today is January 11th, 2022. So for those of you that know this joke, 0 in binary code is where everything and nothing begins all at the same time. And 1 is a point in space. So when you take all possibility and you're like, okay, this is where I want to go, and then you draw a line from all possibility and all energy over to that point in time and space, that's 2. So it's 0, point in space 1, and 2, and that's an event horizon. So today, if we talked about it in binary terms, to be funny, it's 0, 1. So that's everything and nothing and a point in time and space. So that's the way we want to go. And then point in space, point in space. So now we have 3 places we want to go. And then you draw the line, and that's a 2, so that's an event horizon. So you actually, out of that, have 3 possibilities, because there's 3 2s, and 1 possibility is to go back to the 0, go back to the drawing board. So that's why that's funny. Anyway, so love you bunches. Again, if you need some help this week, you're feeling really stressed out from all the holiday blues and relationships and whatever, and you'd like to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am worthy, I am unique, I am important, then give me a call if you're having trouble making it over that hump, and we'll work on it together. And like I said, I've got a little tiny 20-minute session, for $30. It's enough to get you uplifted, uprighted, and going for the rest of the month. So that's it. I look forward to seeing all of those of you that have already enrolled in the Spiritual Awakening Academy mini course. It's listed on toolsofenergyprotection.com. And if you pop over there, scroll down to the bottom, it'll show you all the bullet statements, everything I'm teaching, and the times. And yes, there will be recordings if you aren't there live. So thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. Big hugs and kisses. And I will see you all here next Tuesday on Terrific Tuesday.